It's so sad that this time of the year, just a few days in, we have to talk about at least 6 devastating fires in our country. I can tell you more than 500 people have been displaced after a massive blaze gutted their homes in Phola Park in Philippi. That's just outside Cape Town. It's the second fire in the area in a week. In fact, we're probably going to update that number for you in a moment. The flare-up was close to where humanitarian group Gift of the Givers, their teams were distributing aid. So, of course, Gift of the Givers does what they do best and jumped in to help. Imtiaz Suleiman joining us from Gift of the Givers, of course, founder and a man who never stops working as well. And what a way to start the year, Imtiaz. Tragic as always, yet Gift of the Givers is there. You were telling me off air that it's more than 5 fires that we've been reporting. You're saying it's 6. Tell me about them. Good morning.
Good morning, Garrett, and compliments of the new year to you and your team, the entire country. Let's hope it's a good year for all of us. It started on the 30th of December, so the year ended off in a bad way for the residents in Cape Town. The first fire was in Dunoon. A day later, the next fire was in Masipumalele, and that same place we responded a few weeks previously for 2 fires in the same area. Then came Phola Park, the back section of Phola Park. Next was Nonzamo, which recently even had floods in the area. Then came Phola Park 1, 2, which was again in the front. And then just 2 days ago, on Saturday, early hours of the morning, well, Sunday morning at 2:30, the next fire was in Kailicha. And in that fire, my staff member stays in Kailicha. And 4 o'clock in the morning, community members came and woke up and said, we're in a crisis situation, there's a fire in Kailicha. So collectively, there's been over 2,000 people displaced, more than 1,000 informal homes affected, and there were 4 deaths in that whole situation in over the 6 fires.
So the visuals we're looking at the moment, Imtiaz, is of the Phola Park fire as well. That's where you now said in total over 2,000 people just in this incident at Phola Park. The numbers I have is over 500. What was the kind of aid that you had to provide when you first arrived, bearing in mind these structures have just been burned down? What's the first thing that Gift of the Givers does?
Well, Garrett, we always, whenever we get to a site, it's always food. And strangely enough, in recent times, in many of the disasters, be it fire, rain, flood, people always come running for food first. And you understand there's an underlying issue that's going on in the country. And we've been aware of it. There's a hunger pandemic in the country. And when you get there, people will say, forget about the clothes, forget about the shacks. Right now, we're very hungry. And then a new phenomenon happens. It's not only the people that have been affected by the fire that are hungry, it's people who live next door because they're in the same community. So our teams always take extra food because we know that everybody in that area is hungry. So that's the first thing. Then, of course, for the heat, people require bottled water. Some of them who still have the medication with them need to take that. Next, they would come urgently. They'll say, my kids got no diapers. We got no sanitary pads. We need something to brush our teeth. So hygiene packs, roll-ons and those kind of items go next. And depending whether they're going to stay with relatives or move into a hall, and many people don't want to move from the site of the fire because they're scared that the piece of land that they've got will be taken away or by somebody else. So many people sit on the edges of the fire. Some who are brave enough, of course, will go to their families or go to community halls. They need blankets and mattresses. But in this particular case, in the 6 fires, many of the people were not there. They had moved on holiday, and a lot of them go to the Eastern Cape. So their homes were burnt while they were away. In one situation, a lady came from work on the first fire on the 30th, saw the area, ran to a house, saw it totally demolished, burnt out. She threw herself on the floor, screaming and crying, sobbing that she lost everything. And those are the kind of scenes that you see quite often in these kind of situations.
Imtiaz, you may have been asked this question before. I've always wanted to ask you this. Now that I've got you on, I hope you don't mind my asking. Of course, Gift of the Givers gets a lot of the credit and due credit as well for being first on the scene and dealing with all the issues you spoke about. Where is government in all of this? Why does Gift of the Givers always seem to be the first team on the scene and reacting to this? Or is that an unfair assumption on my part?
No, we are virtually, there's 2 reasons for this. One is when, in fact, the firefighters made that comment in the week. But let's go a little bit back. And each site, that we've been there, especially in the 6 fires in Western Cape, we have a fantastic relationship. where disaster management, now these are all the civil servants, not the politicians. The disaster management, firefighters, SAPS, the Road Traffic Inspectorate, I know also social development, SASA, we have a fantastic relationship, and they're all there. And they also joked with us. They said, do the people call us and call you guys at the same time? And yes, that's true. As I said, on Kailisha, they went and knocked on the door of my staff. So people always call us. Government, our civilians, our civil servants are excellent in terms of firefighting. With the wind, firefighters get injured. Some of them even die in the process, smoke inhalation. So they've been excellent. The problem with government is their systems. There's no proper system to bring in resources after the fire is put out. And VSASA comes to register the people, but who provides the food? Who brings the blankets? Where will you put the community, where will the people stay? And that's a system they have to fix. And I've spoken to various people in government, ministers, DGs, chief directors, that your system has to be fixed. And that's a real crisis where people cannot respond in time because they just don't have the resources.
Imtiaz, I'm going to say thank you, as always, for being on the scene first, as we were hearing your staff in Khayelitsha were woken up when the fire broke out there. The first team on the scene again in Phola Park as well. Imtiaz, thank you for the update as well. And I'm sure, as many people will know by now, that if you do want to assist Gift of the Givers in any way with anything that you have, you've heard the issue being it's food, it's being sanitary towels, it's being clothing, whatever it might be. I'm sure you can just head over to their website and they'll have the details there as to how you can assist Gift of the Givers. And Imtiaz Suleiman and his team always doing a wonderful, wonderful job.